Right, hello everybody. Welcome to my first chat, live stream, whatever. We're gonna have fun today. We're going to work on the glow effect for my little Necrons here. That'll be pretty good. I've got a couple others I can continue working on, especially this Fencer for her skin tones. Continue working on some of those as if I need time for these to dry. I hope I got my chat and everything set up correctly. We shall soon see. Looks like I've got the framing on this element. Hang on a second. Alright, cool. Let's switch this over and we'll get going on this. How's my audio? Is the music too loud? Is it okay? Let me know how we're doing with some of this. So I'm going to be using some Vallejo. This is cold white. I really like it because it's a nice, clean, deep white, not like a more grayed out one that we usually use. And dropping paint. And then the technical Necron glow. It's a real simple way to get a glow effect on it. I love it. It's super easy. Oh, I forgot my TikTok stream here too. Hold on. Gotta get the TikTok guys in on this. Oh. 2 seconds. Thank you for your patience. Music and voice sounds good. Thank you, Jeremy. My brother is my main fan. It's pretty great. Okay, maybe not TikTok today. It's okay. We'll figure it out. Anyway, we'll get this zoomed in here a little bit, and then we'll get painting. So this one I've got a good start on. I've got the white undercoat going, and I've got some of the technical green glow. So I've got my little prompt on the screen for my nerdy chat of what are you reading right now? I adore books and reading and stories. For me, the longer the story, the better. I'm the kind of person who looks at a book, I pick it up, and the first thing I do is I look at the side, and I see how thick it is. That's one of my early determining factors of is this going to be a book I'm interested in, is how long it is. Or if it's audio, if it's like 12-hour book, I'm like, no, it's probably fine. But if it's like a 45-hour book, I'm interested. So that's just me and books, really. Alright, so this one we've already got our white on here and some of the glow. I just need to fill in that little power tube and some of that glow. Alright, got get in frame here. Alright, so to start the conversation, currently I'm reading a couple different books. I'm weird like that. At first, I'm rereading Tress and the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Speaking of long epic books, that's one for you, or one author for you. There we go. Super quick and easy, and then that one's done. Nerd Morning saying yes, loves epic books too, right? Like, the longer the better for me. That's not always the case. Some of my favorite books are the Dresden Files books. They're not terribly long books. They're not like big epic fantasies, but the stories are just so excellent. If you like urban fantasy or fairy tales, magic, oops, get out from behind my face video. Is this a Christmas song that somehow snuck into my playlist? Oh dear. Oh, I'm gonna have to get that out of there. Oh, hold on a sec. We're gonna have to skip that one. That's just... I love Christmas. I love Christmas music, everything. But at Christmas time, that's my opinion on the matter. Is Christmas is wonderful because it's a special time. We keep it special, and it will be a special thing. Anyway, get our technical green here on these power coils, the glowy power coils. One thing I like about doing OSL, object source lighting, is you can be a little bit sloppy with it, and it's okay because it's supposed to kind of splash out onto the rest of the model. It just lets me not be so focused on precision and detail, and I can still feel good about the end result. But good morning. You can read the Dresden Files every day. Every now and then some fairy tale thing will pop up, and I'm like, now I gotta go read Dresden. I gotta review what he says about this character or something. I have on my wish list. Who's the author? He did lots of monster stories. It's not coming to mind, but I kind of wanted to get some of those older classic fairy tale and monster stories just to see what's the old tales that are being pulled from for the Dresden Files, and see what's really coming from that. Just tie those together, see how Jim Butcher has made his own adaptations for his stories and things. That's one I can get really into. Thank you, Nerd Morning. It's a real simple way to get quick, nice models. It really is. But other than Tress and the Emerald Sea, I'm also listening to. So I'm reading on the ebook Tress and the Emerald Sea. I've gotten back into reading words, not so much audiobooks, in the last year because I haven't had to travel so much. I used to have to travel a lot for work, fixing 3D printers. So I didn't have a lot of time to hold a physical book and read, but I had a lot of time on the road, so I got into audiobooks. That one's looking good. Got into audiobooks so I could enjoy stories on the road, and I'm hooked. I totally am. This one's pretty easy. That's all the glowiness on him, at least for my version of these guys. That one's easy. Actually, I should be doing more white, so the other white can dry while I do the technical paint. That's okay. I've got plenty more Necrons. It's a Necron horde. This is the what's it called? The small battle groups that Games Workshop just came out with last year. Combat Patrol. There it is. The Necron Combat Patrol I got for Christmas from my in-laws. Very nice of them to support my hobby here. A little bit thinner on my palette. And eventually I'll want to get a palette cam, because I always find it interesting to see how other artists thin their paints and things. This shouldn't be too thin. We don't want it to be glaze or anything, but it does need to be relatively thin to get into these coils and such like that. See how that runs into it? Kind of goops up but leaves the top kind of exposed. That helps with that glowing effect. So, oh, I don't think I attributed the music. This is Stream Beats music. It's free, which is nice. And that's moves. It's kind of fun. So that's why I picked this for nice background music. Keep this in camera here for you. I'm also listening to some of the Horus Heresy books. I'm on book 3 of that right now. Really interesting to get the history and the lore of this game in the Horus Heresy. If you're not familiar with the Horus Heresy books, it's basically the fall of a hero kind of story. The great general and leader of Earth's empire succumbs to his darker desires to try and usurp the throne of the emperor and become the emperor himself. There's not a lot of, at least not yet, alien races yet. Like the Necrons, I don't think have even woken up again at this point, or have just recently woken up. One of those. So, kind of got a long way to go for the stories. The Nerd Morning, I know you're going to. I know you would like it because there are like 40-50 books of lore and mythologies and things. I know you'd get into it. So then I also read a lot of a darker type of story. You'd really get a kick out of it, I'm sure. I also am always in the middle of like a personal development book, and I just finished Tiny Habits, not Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits quotes the author of Tiny Habits, so even though Atomic Habits came out first, he quoted from the Atomic Habits author, I'm great with names. JB, last name starts with a B also. Anyway, so Tiny Habits, it's the science behind habits and how little habits can help you through building small pieces on top of each other. So I probably just painted my headphones. So anyway, I like the science behind it. That's just really fascinating to me. So I've always got something like that going also that I'm reading. And yeah. The power cord here. Yeah, Nerd Morning, you'll also like the Tiny Habits. It's a really good one. It's way more science-based. It gives a lot of personal development theory and stuff behind the habits and such. So you would definitely like that. Alright, this is a weird angle. I'm going to have to go through his legs to get the back side of that cable here. Hold on. Can barely see it. But like I said, one nice thing about doing, another through the legs, about doing the object source lighting, the OSL like this, if you're a little messy, it's okay. So oh, I missed. Oh, glowy spheres. These are the fun parts. I think I missed it on that last one too. Looks like it. It's okay. I can pick it up. One nice thing about getting the paint more wet like this also, it kind of runs to fill in those crevices. It's a little less work like that. So put those in here. Lightning Thief. Yeah, Nerd Morning. Lightning Thief is a classic. It's just a really fun story. A great introduction, not just for kids, but anybody into the Greek mythologies and deities and that structure of things. It even kind of ties into Dresden Files, the heist book with Dresden when he meets Hades. I love that part. He's like, yeah, I'm not really worried about you, Hades, because you're like the only Greek deity who is honest about who they are. So, and the Percy Jackson books have some of that too, where Hades is, the most upright and not weird about making promises and breaking them and stuff. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm working on the Shadow of What Was Lost book. Oh, yeah, I bought that one. Dedan is the best version of Hades. Dedan. Who's Dedan? I don't think I know that one right off. While you're typing. Shadow of What Was Lost. Oh, that is up there with Brandon Sanderson, in my opinion. Wheel of Time level. Yes, it is a little bit confusing. I had to listen to it, the whole series, all the way through twice before I really started understanding what was going on and the timeline of it, but it is so good. James Islington excellent author for full history and things, like up there with Robert Jordan on big backstory kind of stuff. Dresden Files. Dayton has the best version. Hades. Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, Dresden. Spell. Gotcha. Type it on your phone, probably. Yes, Dresden has the best Hades. I agree. Him and Spot. Cerberus is spotted, and yeah, he named his dog Spot. It's funny. And the wedding gift for him and Persephone for keeping his mother-in-law away for their honeymoon. Just so funny. I really love the takes on Hades there. So we could have a whole huge long chat about Dresden. Yeah, typo. Gotcha. There. See, when I remember to get all the pieces, that's when it's going to come together. Get this guy back out here. Yeah, you got to get the little orby glowy things, otherwise you're missing out on half of the niftiness of these plasma guns. Plasma gun axe. I mean, that's a multi-use weapon right there. Yeah, the Necrons are interesting. Their society. Here's something for you, Nerd Morning. The society was kind of starting to collapse, and one of the universe deity-esque superpowers basically came to them and said, hey, if you help us in our war against, like, the first ones or something like that, you know, super powerful deity-esque things, we'll give your society back to you and grant you eternal life. So they made them all robots. super abbreviated. All my other lore people out there are like, but you left out the best part. Sorry. I'm pretty new to the Warhammer lore. I got into the painting of it first by a lot. I went into a couple stores before I did anything. I got my first lore introduction in Jacksonville, Florida. I was there on a work trip and I just stopped in because I have a friend close by who's been into Warhammer for a long time. And he was telling me some stuff, and so I was there on work, and I saw this Warhammer store. I'm like, I'll go in. Why not? And seriously, they need to give that store manager a medal or something. He told the introduction to the lore and things of Warhammer so smoothly, so beautifully, that I was super interested in it, but I wasn't really ready to commit. I was there on work. I had to get on a plane to come back home. I didn't want to get a bunch of stuff and take with me, so I didn't do anything about it then. But a month later or so, I was in Orlando and went into the Warhammer store there. I was a little more interested, a little more ready to do something. And the manager there, he didn't take me through the whole lore introduction of the Emperor of Mankind and everything where it was standing at the time. But he did have me sit down and paint a mini. And I've got him right here. No, not that one. This one. Yeah. This was my first ever mini I painted there in the store, and it was just such a a calming, gratifying experience to paint this and make it look like something that I was hooked. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I've got to do this more, and I don't get to paint much. Like a little bit every week is kind of what I get, and it's my creative flow time. I really look forward to this. So, thanks, Nerd Morning. Yeah, the first one I did was fun. I don't know if that store manager was just really, being nice or something, but he was like, dude, are you sure this is your first time? I'm like, yeah. So that made me feel good, warm and fuzzies. Alright, so get these crossover pieces. There we go. Alright. And what I like doing too is making sure I get the surrounding areas, because they're glowing outward, right? You're gonna want to catch the glow on different areas, even like right here, just a little bit, right? From some of that glow, and a little bit here on the side of the gun from the chest plate, right? Glowing onto the side of the gun there. So the firearm, sorry YouTube, saying the G word. Another little coat. One thing that's nice to do for these power cables is to not be very even putting that the second coat on there. It helps that glow feel like it's more radiant. It's not just a constant color. Just a little thing I picked up somewhere that really helps with that. Cool, got him. Another Necron. One thing that's cool is all the different poses too. This one's slightly different angle on the weapon and such. Yeah, I'm not seeing any of my chats pop up here. I've got my phone on the side. I'm watching the chats. I don't think I got that set up fully right. I will have to look into that so I can make sure and get the chats in the future. But that's alright. Hopefully it counts it as another another viewer, right? Because I don't know if I want my question down there all the time. That might not work so well, but or maybe I will. Maybe I'll just have a question of the day and we'll go off on those. Oh yeah, the other thing I'm reading right now is libraries are wonderful things. Okay, support your local libraries. As much as I would like to, I can't always get all the books and everything I would like. And I wanted to try reading One Piece, the mangas. And so my daughter uses the library all the time. So I was like, hey, put those on hold for me. So my daughter got me the first triad, I guess, of the One Piece. So I'm starting to read One Piece in manga form, and that's pretty fun. I like that. It's a little bit different than the anime, a little bit differently than the Netflix version, but that's okay. I think they both did really good adaptations to their medium. It jumps, the anime or the manga jumps right into Luffy, stabbing himself in the face. Who is this kid? But knowing where it's going, I'm just like, like, you shouldn't laugh at this kid stabbing himself in the face, but that's Luffy for you. He likes to jump in with both feet from what I'm seeing so far. So that's fun. I haven't done a whole lot of manga. A little bit of Attack on Titan. A little bit of Demon Slayer. I really, really like Demon Slayer. And now some One Piece. I've done more comics than manga. I know Nerd Morning does a lot of both. Nerd Morning's on 105. Well, yeah, I got a lot of catching up to do for that. I hope my library has all of them. The libraries are, it looks like they're getting a lot more manga, like the bookstores are. So, but yeah, a lot more comics. Batman especially. I've always loved Batman. Just always have. The superhero without superpowers, and yet can take down all of the superheroes who do have superpowers if you give them a little time and a little preparation. Yeah. So, big Batman fan here. Oh, sorry, gotta keep that where you can see it. My little glow spots. Yeah. I know batch painting might not be the most interesting thing for you guys to watch, but it's my current project. So welcome. Thank you for joining me. We'll do a few other things in the future. In fact, let me show off some of my future Demon Slayer. Such a beautiful art. Yes. So I've got Tanjiro around here somewhere. Where did I put Tanjiro? Oh, he's around here somewhere. I'll need to paint Tanjiro, but anyway, I recently finished printing Silk. Here, she does have arms and legs, but Silk Spider-Woman. I have a Spider-Man, and probably one of the coolest Superman models ever. Here's his head. Put that on straight. From CA3D, with him parting his shirt there, and you've got the S underneath, like, if you can see that well in this light. Anyway, be working on these. That I've got printed off. So, yeah. more fun things to come. So, but yeah, current project is getting these guys all done, because really you should finish projects every now and then. But we can do a little more show and tell from some of my other models I've done here as we go. Yeah, the Superman is really cool. I'm excited to do the Superman. One thing that intimidates me a little bit about figure models like that is painting skin tones. I'm getting better at it. Where's my over here? I've got all these things in my box. Gotta put them away. There it is. So I'm getting better at skin tones. You know, it's just a little bit intimidating, because if you get the skin tones wrong, especially on a face, it can kind of ruin the vibe of the character, and that's just not cool. So like, here's one of the first ones I did, and you know, I called it okay. It's not the very first. It's not as awesome. It's a little more complex than that first model I did, and has skin tones. I think the fire came out really well, but I did the skin tones and it just wasn't great, so I kind of lost interest in this model. I'm sorry. Yeah. Hopefully I get back and finish this one up, because it's a neat model, a really neat D&D character. But yeah, the skin tones are a little intimidating to me still. I don't mind robots. It's kind of hard to do a robot wrong, right? So yeah, I don't mind doing robots. Well, thank you. Yeah, that leg, the skin tones on that leg, I've probably spent more time on than any other skin tones I've done. Yeah, thanks for the fire. The fire was one of my first practices at glazing the colors together. Happy to say I did pretty good, right? So, yeah. There we go. But yeah, in a second I'll pull out one of those others and we'll do something just a little more interesting than just my OSL project here on these glowing parts. Do we get some glue on this or something? Something sticky on there. I forgot to attribute Stream Beats in my comments. Music is Stream Beats, everybody. I will put that in. Sorry. There's something sticky in there. But we'll do something a little different here in a second. Oh, this guy got one eye blown out. We can focus on that. That eye is all damaged. Again, something really nice about the models. They're all the same, but they're not all the same. Makes them a little more interesting to paint, to play with, look at. For the Warhammer stuff, I'm really more into the painting so far. I think it'd be fun to play some Combat Patrol or even some full games. But, you know, time, priorities, you gotta just choose. So if I can only choose one right now, I'm gonna choose painting, because painting relaxes me, makes me feel some creativity, right? Opportunity to make something look great when it wasn't before. Some of the glow from his chest plate on there. And I'll pull out either the Fencer or Black Cat. We'll see which one I find the pieces for. I didn't put it away very well. Oops. So you'll notice sometimes I'm a little squirrely in my thought process, is kind of bouncing all over the place. But I forgot if I mentioned I'm reading The Wheel of Time also. And I'm on the Lord of Chaos book for that, for The Wheel of Time. And that one's growing on me. I used to really love Shadow Rising, still love Shadow Rising. It's one of the coolest, with where you get more of the history from that book than you do from any of the others, I think. It fills in a lot of the holes, answers a lot of the questions. But the Lord of Chaos is kind of growing on me. So, got Black Cat, the video game version from CA3D. Just a little bit of touching up to do on this one. Favorite fantasy series, Node Morning? Yeah. The only reason I'm going to say it's not my very favorite is because Stormlight Archive is my favorite. But it's way up there. It's so rich and so deep. And it would be fair to say that Wheel of Time had a lot of inspiration for Stormlight Archive. So, alright. So this is another reason why I chose Black Cat. The only skin on this is her face, right? So, not so intimidating on the skin tones and such here. Here's the other hand. Right now I think it's a little bit pale. I need to bring a little bit of life back into it. That's okay. We live, we learn. And then a little bit of touching up here on the black. My white got away from me just a little bit, but otherwise it's coming along really well. So let's grab my black. So use this matte black, give it a good shake. Always gotta shake the paints. Always gotta shake the paints. Stormlight top 5. Stormlight is the top 5? I would have thought for you it would be like top 3. Ooh, coming out. Or is it just that there's so many, it's hard to choose any better than top 5? They just all 5 are kind of top 1. I feel that way sometimes about books. Yeah. What's your favorite book? Well, I like them all. That's not true. I don't like all books. I am rather picky, actually, about my books. I'm not big into romance just for romance sake. That's just not something that interests me. I'm more of, give me swords, give me magic, give me dragons. If there happens to be a little romance on the side, okay, whatever. But I'm really reading more for fantasy or personal development stuff. That's just my vibe, how I like to read. Don't know if I would put Mistborn, Stormlight above each other. I can't decide. But also Dresden, also D. I've got the word behind it. Dresden is up there for me too. Yeah, kind of what I was thinking, what you were saying. It's like I have these multiple books that are basically all number one. Yeah, absolutely. Get my tidying up here done, and then I can put her together. Just have to be careful I don't get too much black and nick the white. It's a lot harder to paint white over black than black over white. So, like I was saying, this is the video game version of Black Cat. I think from Spider-Man 2? Mid-morning, you'll have to help me out with that one. I think it's the second Spider-Man video game that's got this version of Black Cat. I haven't read a lot of Spider-Man. I kind of feel bad about that because I really like Spider-Man. Spider-Man is up there with Batman. He does have powers, but he also doesn't know when to quit. Sometimes to his detriment. Yeah, Peter Parker. Bless him. I think it's from DLC of 1. It's such a cool. Yeah, I really like this suit. It's more of a burglar's outfit. When I saw this one, I'm like, yeah, that's really more what a cat burglar is gonna wear. Even with the white stripes, cat burglar wouldn't have the white stripes. But Felicia is often portrayed with the furry, low-cut, neck. I'm like, it's comic book, it's what you're gonna see, but cat burglar. So, Spider-Man is amazing. My favorite Marvel character, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Right? I think the story was, come on, Marvel author guy basically wrote all of Marvel. Anyway, cool author dude said, hey, I want to do this story about a kid, a teenager. No, you can't do a teenager kid for a comic. teenagers are sidekicks and stuff. So he wrote in just one little story in a different book. Stanley, thank you, Stanley, yes. And everybody loved Spider-Man, so hence Spider-Man was born, because he said, I'm gonna do it anyways, because I think it's a great idea. So thank you, Stanley, for doing your own thing, right? My stone frame, there we go. It's a little bit different for me listening to music while I'm painting. Most of the time I'm listening to audiobooks when I'm painting. It's kind of fun. A little different, a little fun. Oh, careful into that corner. Pull it out. Anyway, but I was doing a little bit more learning about Felicia Black Cat when I got this model and was printing, because I just didn't know a lot. And come to find out, she's sometimes friend, sometimes lover, sometimes enemy of Peter Parker. And she prefers Spider-Man to Peter. Probably why he goes back to Mary Jane. But, yeah, it would be a good time to listen to audiobooks, totally. Right? Just paint, just be absorbed in a story, make a little bit of art. Only downside is, as my wife taught me, art is visual problem solving and visual storytelling. So sometimes I have to pause the book to to focus on something or figure something out. But my wife's an artist too, but more traditional art. She does a lot of things, but mostly pattern design. She's got some licensed designs and does a lot on Spoonflower, those sorts of things. So she spends a lot of time in her art. It's great. She is way better than me. I look at these models as like a three-dimensional coloring book. I know some people would disagree with me on that one, but really, it's like a three-dimensional coloring book. You've got all the places to put the colors, and you can follow the picture, or you could do your own thing. It doesn't really matter. But they've got the shapes and the dimensions and the outlines of things that are supposed to be there. Now, I've seen some artists who are amazing at doing freehand things. That's a different level than me. I'm basically just doing a three-dimensional coloring book with paint. But I like it. It's my relaxing time. Fun perspective, three-dimensional coloring book. Yeah, right? So, like those adult coloring book, made for adult coloring books and things you can get. That's what this is. And those are used for even therapy. Therapists have been recommending and giving adult coloring books 2 and 4 adults, just to get people to slow down, to take a minute and let go and do something a little bit creative, something that doesn't really matter, right? I hope someday that this can be more productive for me than it currently is, but honestly, just doing it to do it is the fun, creative, productive, therapeutic part for me. So, just to sit down, do something a little creative. If I mess it up, it's gonna be okay, right? So that's my perspective on the three-dimensional coloring books. So and I like both these bigger figures and the Warhammer. These bigger figures are a little bit more work to print and sand and smooth and prime. You know, Warhammer has some pre-work on them too, but Nerd Morning art therapy. Yes, you should do more art therapy. Your art blows me away. Like, seriously. Your Starry Night that you did, and the one that's like a curtain draping over a stool or something like that. Like, yeah, you should do more art therapy. One of my favorites, in fact. Sometimes I paint with my daughters. They like canvases more than painting minis. I'm like, okay, more for me. But yeah, it's good calm. Kind of have to focus on stuff. I think my music stopped. Hold on. Let me check in on that. Oh, getting all caught up in my chair. I have to reach behind me for this to do my music. There we go. Because my desk is on two sides of my room. I've got my computer desk back there. We put a screen on this side so I can see my painting recordings and broadcasts. But it's looking pretty good. But if I want to interact with the computer, it's all the way over there. Any touch-ups? Black. So just painting away. This isn't usually my kind of music. I'm more of a slower kind of guy. Actually, I lie. Most of what I listen to is either classic rock or movie soundtracks. So take that as what you will, but that's me, classic rock or movie soundtracks. But this stuff is cool. I got Stream Beats, like I said, because I like the author, what he's doing, and that he made them free to use. So I can support someone who's supporting other creatives like that, and they're good music. I have to remember where I've painted to not put my fingers in the wet paint. Ah, these sticks are getting everywhere. Got a bit of a blob there. Might not be a problem. Hands. This is part of why it's therapeutic. You have to focus on it. Keep steady. Jumping back to the reading topic, I'm doing pretty well on my reading goal this year. I believe I'm on 27 of 100 books. I really only count audio and written books. Like, I don't really count comic books. I don't read them very often either, but make good progress. And a lot of that is that audiobook stuff. I can listen to the audiobooks. I'm running out of places to put my fingers. While I'm working on the 3D printers at work, while I'm doing chores around the house, while I'm putting my kids to bed and they don't want to stay in bed. Yeah, I get plenty of time to listen. So that's nice. I get through all of my favorites and usually a few new books every year. Those favorites being all of Brandon Sanderson, Wheel of Time, the Lycanius trilogy, The Shadow That Was Lost is the Lycanius trilogy, and Dresden Files have been my most listened to books. That's going to need another coat there. Getting a little thin on my paint. One of my favorite things Audible has done recently is they made a series section in their app. So I don't have to try and remember and look up the book orders anymore. I can just go to that section and download the next one. That's handy. Oh, I hope I'm not getting smudges on the other side. Maybe I should slow down. It'll work out. Oh, see, I got a little smudge right there. It's okay. It's just paint. It can be touched up. So I guess I could hold the stick, huh? It's kind of what it's there for. Then I wouldn't smudge. But the stick sometimes slips, so don't always trust the stick. But would be helpful for not getting smudges on my painting. I have to touch up some of the white now. Oh well. Life will go on. So, got most of the suit done. Don't think I'll get to any skin tones today, which I'm okay with, but I do need to practice or I'm not going to get any better, so I shouldn't let it scare me all the time. But, you know. There we go. So, coming along here quite well. We'll get the arms and other pieces here. There's a lot of little hair pieces to this one. I think these are for her sleeves. Oops. Bumping all my stuff. Her long ponytail. Running out of room on my little rack. The hands aren't too bad. I think they're a little... They're not quite right, but they're not too bad. They're getting there. But the face, I tried to do some different skin tone washes. I can probably salvage it, but it's not where I want it. So, anyway, there's Black Cat. Thank you, Nerd Morning. Yes, it's coming along. It takes time, and really, I don't mind that so much. There are some artists who try and get everything done as fast as they can, and there's something to be said about that. You know, being able to get things done. That's not so much why I paint. I paint for the experience of painting, for just the relaxing time. And this has been fun too for my first stream, to sit down and just kind of chat, shoot the breeze, talk about the books and stories that I've been enjoying. So we get some more glowy effect going on here. Keep these guys moving along. Can go back to being a little bit sloppy with this, and that's okay, because glowiness just kind of goes everywhere anyways. I have seen some painters who will come in and do another layer of white in some areas and then come back in to do more glow, and that looks really good. I don't think I'm quite that interested in it at this moment. I think this much is going to be totally fine. It will do what I want it to do, at least. But yeah, it works. Missing anything? One fun thing about doing these smaller miniatures also is it does take a little bit more focus and finesse than some of those bigger figures, just because the details are so much smaller. Some of my favorite artists are so skilled at those little details, and blows my mind that they can get in there so well. Some of these Necrons have little wires and things poking out. I've seen some artists go in and make those red and blue and things. I may or may not do some of that. I'm not sure yet. It's kind of a lot, and sometimes it's good to just finish a project, right? But, you know, he's looking good. We're getting there. Get a couple more glowy guys done and call it a day. I like the glowy eyes. I always thought that was cool on these guys. Some of my favorite artists even make all of these chest slits glow. And while that's really cool, it's kind of a lot. So I opted for black and just make these main components glowy. That's totally fine for me. So got a little more time. Good. And it's nice to make progress on a project, you know, where some things you do, you do them and you keep doing them, and it just is. You'll just have to keep doing stuff forever on certain things, like dishes or laundry, right? They're never really all the way done. It certainly doesn't feel like it. But to be able to say, hey, look, I did that, it's done. Sometimes that's needed, right? Alright, we've got our lead character. I forget his name. It's like Anufet or something like that. We'll get him all glowied. I'll need to come back and do his blade. that he's kind of a cool character. I do really like the characters more than the foot soldiers. Which makes sense, you know, they should be a little more interesting. But it is also a little sad that they have to be interesting because the foot soldiers aren't. That didn't exactly come out right. They're, I don't know. When you're painting a bajillion army people, sometimes you need the the foot soldier repetitiveness, because putting so much time and detail like this into every single one, nobody would play. No one would get them done. Yeah, I like how that's going. I'll have to extend my playlist on Stream Beats so it doesn't run out on me. And pull out the Christmas music. I'll have to make a Christmas album for Christmas time. But, you know, it's alright. It will be good. Did I say album? I meant playlist. You know what I meant. Yeah. Alright, that is what we're going to do today. Thank you so much for joining me, and hope to see you next week. It might not be an every week kind of stream, but hopefully every week. Every week I can do it. I plan on being here on Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Please join me. You can follow me also on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. And we'll see you next time. Or if I can get uncut.